Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is IMAX Sports and North Football video, and today I'm going over my 2022 NFL playoff prediction and Super Bowl 57 predictions for the 2022 NFL season. I did this on the channel a few weeks ago. I had a little bit of a bold prediction. One of them has turned out to be, I think, a pretty solid prediction so far, and one of the teams I had in the Super Bowl was a little too bold, and they've kind of fallen from grace. So I'm excited to make this video. I think that we know a little bit more about the playoff teams coming up, and let's get right into it. First off, we have the current playoff picture. We have the AFC. Chiefs are winning the AFC right now at 9-2. Dolphins are in the second seed at 8-3. Titans, Ravens, Bengals, and Jets all at 7-4, and the Bills are at 8-3 at the 5 seed. So everyone in the AFC playoffs is currently within 2 games. Patriots and Chargers are an extra game behind at the 8 seed, fighting to get back in. Big games this week for both the Patriots and the Chargers, divisional games against the Bills and the Raiders. A win for the Patriots could be huge for their playoff chances, especially with the Bengals and the Bengals having a very tough game this week. NFC, we have the Eagles at 10-1, Vikings at 9-2, Niners at 7-4 in the 3 seed, and Buccaneers at 5-6 in the 4 seed. And then 5 seed, we have the Cowboys at 8-3. 6 seed, we have the Giants, and 7 seed, we have the Commanders. So the entirety of the NFC East is in the playoff picture currently, much like the AFC East was last week. The Seahawks are at 6-5 at the 8 seed, and the Falcons are the 9 seed at 5-7 right now. My 2022 playoff picture for the remainder of the season, I have the Chiefs finishing at 14-3. The Dolphins finishing at 13-4, Ravens finishing at 12-5, Titans at 11-6, Bills finishing at 12-5, and the Bengals and Jets both at 10-7. I think the Bengals and the Jets both have potential to reach 11-6. I need to see more from Mike White before I put the Jets in that category. And the Bengals, I think that after last night's game, they definitely can reach 11-6, but their schedule is very tough, and I need to see another win out of them before I put them at 11-6. In the NFC, I have the Eagles at the 1 seed at 14-3, Vikings in the 2 seed at 13-4, Niners in the 3 seed at 11-6, Tampa at 9-8. They could finish 8-9. Either way, I think that they'll win the division, but I think that 8-9 is definitely possible for them with the schedule they have left. Cowboys at 13-4, Giants at 10-7, and Seahawks at 9-8. I do have the Seahawks beating the Commanders for the spot. Actually, I have both of them finishing 9-8. But that's because I don't know who's going to win this week. Whoever wins this week, I think, gets the spot. This is like the Christmas Eve game for Patriots-Bengals. If the Seahawks win, I think the Seahawks get the spot. If the Commanders win, the Commanders will definitely be getting the spot. In the Patriots-Bengals game, if the Patriots win on Christmas Eve, I think the Patriots have a decent chance of getting the 7th seed. If the Bengals win on Christmas Eve, the Bengals, I think, are guaranteed to get the 7th seed. Or 6th seed. So, for the first round of the playoffs, Kansas City and the Eagles are on bye weeks, so they both get to move on to the divisional round. I have the Dolphins beating the Jets in the first round of the playoffs. I have the Ravens beating the Bengals at home, and I have the Bills beating the Titans in Tennessee. Buffalo and Tennessee have had some up and down games the last couple of years. I think that Buffalo's team is more balanced and more consistent this season, and I think that they're more likely to win that game. I think that the Dolphins should be able to handily beat the Jets with their full roster and Tua. They played them extremely heavily injured last time, and Tua was out. And I think that the Ravens-Bengals game is going to be close, but I think it's going to come down to home field advantage. In the NFC, I have the Cowboys winning against the Buccaneers in the first round of the playoffs. When I'm actually picking the weekly playoff predictions, I might pick Tampa because you don't bet against Tom Brady on a weekly picks. But considering this is all far in the future, I think that the Cowboys have more future prospects than Tampa does in the playoffs currently. And I think that when the time comes, although I might pick Tampa, I'm picking the Cowboys right now. I had the Vikings winning against the Giants, winning against the Seahawks in the first round of the playoffs, and I have the 49ers beating the Giants. I think that both of those games, the Vikings and the 49ers both have significant advantages. I think that the 49ers are peaking at the right time and the Giants peaked early. I think that the Giants should have no problem getting to the playoffs, but I don't see them going very far. As for whoever ends up in the 8th seed, whether it's Washington, the Seahawks, whoever it is, I think that the Vikings should be able to fairly handily beat whatever team that is, because neither of those teams have the best defenses in the world, and it'll be a very offensive football game that I think the Vikings will be able to control. Moving on to the conference championship round, I have Buffalo beating Kansas City to make it to the conference championship, and Miami beating the Ravens to make it to the conference championship. I have a full AFC East conference championship round, Dolphins versus Bills. I think that Josh Allen will finally get his playoff revenge on Patrick Mahomes. Although he has won a couple of regular season games on him, Patrick Mahomes has beaten Josh Allen in the playoffs in the past. I think that Josh will finally get his revenge. As for Miami and the Ravens, the Dolphins beat the Ravens earlier on in the season, and that was before the offense had time to gel. I think that the offense is going to be even better in the second matchup, and with home field advantage, I think the Dolphins should have a pretty good win over the Ravens in the divisional round. I have the Vikings beating the 49ers at home. I think that the 49ers have a more balanced team, but there's something about the Vikings this year that just makes me want to believe in Kirk Cousins. I also need to see the 49ers beat another legitimate contender because I still haven't seen them beat a legitimate contender yet. The game against the Chargers was impressive, but the Chargers were missing two of their starting wide receivers. This week's game is going to be a massive game to see where the 49ers are standing right now, because they are playing against a playoff contending team, and if they win this week, I think that they have a pretty solid argument to be making the divisional championship or the conference championship. I have the Cowboys beating the Eagles in Philadelphia. I think that a lot of people might call that an upset. I think that the Cowboys are the better team currently. I think that the Cowboys have a more balanced offense and defense, and I think that they have slightly better future prospects at this moment in time. I need to see a little bit more from the Eagles to see them get back to that where they were at the beginning of the season, because the last few weeks have not been as impressive as Dallas's last few weeks have been. That brings us to the Super Bowl 57. I have the Dolphins beating the Cowboys 38-33. I think that if this is the Super Bowl matchup, the Dallas defense isn't going to be as dominant as it's been a lot of the season. I think that it's going to be swept away in the offense. I think that the Miami Dolphins offense is so explosive that the Cowboys defense will have some good plays. I expect there to be at least one or two pick sixes or recovery touchdowns, or maybe even a punt return or kick return touchdown. Either way, I think that there will be a lot of scoring in this game. I think that it'll be a good offensive and defensive game by both sides, similar to that Chiefs-Rams game, the greatest regular season game of all time, 54-51. I think it'll be similar to that, where it'll be good defense, but also just really good offense, and a mix of the both will bring a high-scoring game with good on both sides of the ball. So I'm really excited for the playoffs this year. Hopefully the Patriots can make it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Huge shout out to Quinn Lacey for supporting the channel with a channel membership.